following is a presentation of Main Street Media, your source for news, sports, and information on Main Street in Middle Tennessee.
Welcome in to Main Street Sports Day, presented by Mid Tennessee Bone and Joint. I'm Chris Yao, he's Mo Patton, and it is year number 3.
It starts number 3.
Starts number 3 today.
Yeah.
What a thank you, James Dickinson, Coach Dickinson here in Columbia. Wishing me a happy birthday. Thank you to all of you who have wished me a happy birthday on Facebook and Twitter and everyone else. Appreciate that. But also happy birthday to our show. It's always easy to remember the anniversary. That's really the only positive about that. Is I can always remember when we started this show. But yeah, it's been a fantastic day so far. For me, I don't know about you, Mo. What's been going on in your world?
Just been trying to pull these Braves through, and so far, not so good.
Yeah, so far not great. The Braves have got to stop, expecting the pitching staff to bail them out, man.
Well, yeah, I mean that's tough to win with 2 runs, and so even against Washington,
Couldn't have done it last night.
Yeah, so we've still got 2 at bats left, so we'll see what happens. But
6 outs are a lot against the Nationals.
And 6 outs are a lot for the Braves. They can
Usually
6 outs.
But
We'll see.
it was Dansby last night with the home run in the 8th inning to give us a little insurance.
Much needed
insurance. So we got a great show for you lined up. Obviously, Heather Williams will join us as she does each and every Wednesday. We'll talk a little NASCAR. We've got Teresa Walker, who will join us and talk Titans and maybe some Vols, maybe some Predators. Who knows? You never know what you're going to get. And it's also Wild and Wacky Wednesday. The weirdest and wildest news from across the world coming your way as well. So please stick with us. It's going to be a lot of fun. First and foremost, Mo, let's get some housekeeping out of the way, give you yesterday's results, today's schedule. This is
In volleyball action on Tuesday, Webb School out of Bell Buckle defeated Columbia Academy in 5 games, 3-2. It was Valor Collegiate 3, Community nothing. Eagle with a 3-0 win over Culleoka. It was Father Ryan 3, Pope Prep nothing. Gallatin down Beach 3-1. Harpeth down Hickman County 3-1. And Lawrence County defeated Murfreesboro Central 3-0.
Mount Pleasant 3-0 over Lewis County. Oakland, same score over Blackman. It was Watertown 3, Red Bowling Springs 1, Rockville 3-2 winners over Siegel. It's a big win there. And Spring Hill blanks Columbia 3-0, while Loretto in 5 at Summertown takes it 3-2. How about that?
That's pretty big. Girls soccer action on Tuesday. It was Overton defeating Antioch 5-1. Father Ryan defeating Brentwood Academy 3-1. Providence Christian with a 2-0 win over Columbia Academy. It's Culleoka 7, Cornersville nothing. Christ Presbyterian Academy with a 1-0 win over Lipscomb Academy. Columbia Central blanks Dixon County 6-0. Ensworth 2, Harpeth Hall 1. It's Friendship Christian defeating Mount Juliet Christian 3-1, and Gallatin with a 3-2 win over Nashville Christian.
Good Pasture blanked East Harding 9-0. It was Stewart's Creek 4, Grace Franklin 2, Hendersonville 2-0 winners over Beach. Martin Luther King a 5-1 winner over Hillwood. East Robertson fell to Independence Academy 2-1, while Lead Academy down Glencliff 5-3. It was Smyrna 2-0 over Lebanon. Same score for Lincoln County over Spring Hill, and Lawrence County a 10-1 winner over Loretto.
Macon County edges White House Heritage 3-2. It was Siegel 2, Murfreesboro Central 1. Richland with a 2-0 win over Marshall County. Clarksville Northeast doubled up Springfield 4-2. It was Sycamore 3, Fairview 2. Tullahoma with a 5-0 win over Giles County. Valor Collegiate 3, Valor Collegiate 3, Green Hill 1, and Mount Juliet with the 5-0 win over Wilson Central.
In pro baseball, it was the Red Sox 5-3 over the Reds. Cubs 2-1 winners over the Marlins. Braves edged the Nationals 3-2. Mets with a grand slam edged the Brewers 7-5. It was the Padres 5, Cardinals nothing in Louisville. Takes game 2 of the series up there, 10-5 over the Sound.
In today's volleyball action at 6 o'clock, all these are 6 o'clock starts actually. Gallatin is at Green Hill, Eagle is at Moore County, and Spring Hill is at Stewart's Creek. On girls soccer action today, Webb School goes to Battleground Academy, 4:30 for first touch. Cane Ridge is at Ezo Harding at 5, and at 7, Republic hosts Harvard.
In pro baseball, Nationals Braves are in progress right now, still 3-2.
It is still 3-2.
Braves are hitting currently.
Bad.
They are. They're not hitting. They're just I wish they were hitting more, but unfortunately they are not. Also, currently in progress, you've got the New York Metropolitans and the Milwaukee Brewers. They are in the top of the 4th inning with nobody out. The score is 0-0. Cubs and Marlins again at 5:40 tonight. Red Sox at Reds also at 5:40. Cardinals at the Padres 8:40. Nashville continues their series up in Louisville at 5:35. And tonight at Geodis Park at 8 p.m. on ESPN2, you can catch Nashville SC hosting, I don't know how to say it. There's an accent mark over the E. America is, but I don't know what that means. This is the League's Cup, and I don't know what that means. But that is all we have for today.
But it's on ESPN too at 8 o'clock.
If you want to watch it, feel free. But that's it for the rundown. Our top story today comes from some interesting news yesterday, as Bobby Hart of the Buffalo Bills has been
formerly of the Tennessee Titans,
decided to go get himself suspended after the game on Monday night. Took a swing at a Titans player and ended up hitting a Titans coach.
Neither of whom have been identified to this point, I don't believe. So after looking into the situation, NFL director, I guess, Dean of Discipline.
There you go.
John Runyon, and former Oiler/Titan John Runyon, handed down a 1-game suspension that was upheld on appeal, apparently, by James Thrash, the NFL/NFLPA's agreed upon arbiter of such things. So yeah, Bobby Hart is out for a game, and I presume it will be Buffalo's next game that he will miss after this pretty odd sounding situation. And he went and tried to get somebody in the tunnel, I guess, after the game. I guess winning the game 41-7 wasn't enough.
From John Runyon on Hart, once you and your opponent were in the end zone near the tunnel, you confronted him and immediately swung at him with a closed fist, striking the head of a Tennessee coach. Your aggressive conduct could have caused serious injury and clearly does not reflect the high standards of sportsmanship expected of a professional. Certainly interesting. Mm-hmm. Not the only incident involving someone from Tennessee over the weekend, as a fan has been arrested for throwing a water bottle at Jimmy Haslam in the 5 moments of the Sunday loss for the Browns against the Jets. Jeffrey Miller, 51, was arrested Sunday on complaints of assault, failure to comply with a lawful order, and disorderly conduct, according to the police reports. To throwing water bottles at Jimmy Haslam. Hey, he just said what we were all thinking.
I mean, I guess if you're going to throw one at somebody, that would be as good a guy to do it as any, I guess, if you're a Browns fan.
And finally, did you see where Bruce Arians got a letter from the league? You know, Bruce.
The retired Bruce Arians?
Well, he's only retired as a head coach. So
what's he doing?
He is currently some sort of analyst for the Bucs. And after Lattimore was not assessed a pass interference call, Arians apparently was visually upset at the no call on the sideline, and the NFL sent him a letter and said, "Hey, don't do that." So this comes from Jenna Lane. Apparently, Arians is now a senior assistant to the general manager. And he became animated when Lattimore was not called for pass interference on it and pass intended for Scotty Miller, which led not only to the quarterback confronting officials, but Mike Evans being ejected from the game with the whole situation. So, yeah.
I'll be interested to see just how well Bruce complies with that.
He probably just won't be on the sideline anymore. My guess is go to a luxury box, enjoy the game, Bruce. Don't just enjoy yourself, man. That's all I'm asking. Anyway, so yeah, crazy weekend in the National Football League. Just thought y'all should know.
Was it like a full moon or something?
Well, Mercury was in retrograde this weekend. We talked about that. So hope you didn't call your ex. That's all I'm saying. Oh man, we are going to take a break here because we have Heather Williams awaiting in the queue. So we'll talk a little NASCAR right after this on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint. Y'all stick around with us. Be right back.
Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Tennessee, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Welcome back in on this 2-year anniversary show. Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint. Did we do something good or bad?
Yes.
Good and bad.
Mm-hmm.
Good and bad?
Yes. Runners at first and second, one out. Harris singles up the middle. I think it was Riley. Rounded too far, came back. Contreras got caught in no man's land, trying to get to third, thinking Riley was going to score. So now we're first and third with 2 outs. And I think Rosario just flew out because we're now at the end of the 8th, down 3-2.
Frustrating.
Yeah.
Frustrating. That's okay. Well, I guess
we can't beat the Nationals every time we play.
Well, I mean, if the Mets are going to win every time they play, we need to win every time we're playing.
Well,
so there's that.
I thought the Brewers were playing for a playoff spot too.
They probably are.
So they should probably try to win a game or two.
It'd be nice.
Yeah.
Right now, they might be trying, but I don't think they're successful. Let's talk about some stock car racing.
Let's do.
Because we have with us, as always on Wednesday, Heather Williams of WCYB TV. Heather, what's up?
Well, I mean, if you want to keep talking baseball, we could talk about the big breaking Royals news. They just fired Dayton Moore literally 5 minutes ago. So, I mean, it could be worse. You could be a Royals fan like me.
I know you are a Royals fan from childhood. Did you see that coming? Had that been expected, or the timing of that? Would you have expected it maybe at the end of the year, or what?
Yeah,
what did you see there?
I expected, there to be some changes at the end of the year for sure. They have a fairly new owner, a couple years he's been there now, and John Sherman, and they moved Dayton out of the GM role and into the director of baseball operations in the offseason, and JJ Piccolo has been the GM. Now JJ is going to take over all of baseball operations. So you kind of saw them moving away from Dayton, but I guess the timing with the season not quite being over, although for the Royals it's been over for 3 months, there's a little bit of a surprise. But I mean, John Sherman means business. He did not buy the Royals to watch them lose 100 games every year.
No, I can
Understandably. Yeah.
I mean, especially considering, less than a decade from a world championship.
Sure.
I mean, you would think you'd
Yeah,
be a
but
little
by the way, that they won the world championship, went to the back-to-back World Series in 14 and 15. They had a slightly above 500 season in 16 and haven't lost fewer than 100 games since. So it's been rough. They're on pace right now to lose only like 98 games, which would be like a huge improvement because it's not 100. But yes, there needed to be some changes, especially there's a lot of good young talent right now. I mean, we have Bobby Witt Jr. and we have some other young guys that are coming up through the organization that are about ready to really be at that stage where they need to be making the postseason. So a change was coming. I guess a little bit surprising the timing in the middle of the season.
Drew Waters also been playing well, I guess, for Kansas City since being acquired from the Braves earlier this year. So another young talent there. Yeah,
there's a lot of good young talent that's actually, since for the last month or so, since the trade deadline, they've been playing pretty decent. I mean, not amazing, but like 500 ball for the Royals is pretty good. So there's some things to look forward to for sure.
Tell you what, the Royals, man, that's an organization that I like being good, because I think Kansas City is a great place to watch baseball and eat barbecue and do it. I mean, Kansas City is a fantastic town. So,
like Nashville, in my opinion. I think it's a lot like Nashville, in my opinion. The size, the vibe, kind of underrated cities on the national landscape. But when people go there, they fall in love with it. I think that there's a huge comparison between the two cities.
It's a solid spot. That's all I'm saying. So, anyway, let's move into NASCAR a little bit. Couple of things to get to, but first, who saw Chris Buescher winning? Crystal? Anybody? Bueller? Buescher?
I mean, not Bristol, but I did see a win coming for Buescher. He's been close all year. If you would have made me pick a track that he was going to win at, I might have said Talladega or the Roval, or something along those lines. He's never shown himself to be like a really good short track racer. He loves Bristol, but he's never been like one of those guys when you go to Bristol, you think that guy's going to win. But he's been so close, and I'm not surprised that he won before the year was out, but considering how many drivers are much better at Bristol than he is, it absolutely came out of nowhere that he ended up winning.
Well, it appears that it was good news for him because he got a win and an extension. That's a good way to get an extension too. Is get a win.
Yeah.
But I had been hearing that the extension was coming.
Sure.
Brad Keselowski is super high on Chris Buescher. He thinks the world of him. He thinks that he's a very talented driver, and he thinks that once he gets Roush Fenway Keselowski racing on the right track, that they can go out and compete for championships with Chris Buescher as their driver. So I don't think that there was ever any question an extension was coming. They probably were waiting for some good news like a win to announce it, but I think it's been a foregone conclusion for a while.
Well, I mean, not getting out of Bristol, but obviously 4 drivers eliminated, including Kyle Busch. That is a huge, I guess, blow to Joe Gibbs Racing, especially considering the news about Kyle Busch coming out in his new role or new team. But that's a whole other story. But now, because Kyle Busch is out of the playoffs, Joe Gibbs has decided that he and Denny Hamlin are going to swap pit crews.
Well, I mean, it makes sense, right? I mean,
Sure.
Kyle's pit crew has been way better than Denny's pit crew. Denny's pit crew has made a lot of mistakes, and Denny might be a lot higher up in the championship standings, maybe even one of the favorites if they're not making as many mistakes as they're making during the season. They've cost him a lot of races and chances to win races during the year. So it makes sense to do, especially since Kyle is not coming back next year now that he's been eliminated from the playoffs. You don't put time and effort and resources into a guy who's not coming back and not competing for a championship. So it makes perfect sense to make the switch. Pit crew switches have worked out really well for the Toyotas this year. You saw what happened with Bubba and Christopher Bell earlier. Ever since they made their switch, both those teams have taken off. And really the time and the opportunities to win championships are dwindling down for Denny Hamlin. I mean, he's not super old, but he is one of the older guys in the garage area now, and he's had a lot of opportunities and not cashed in. You can't keep thinking that those are going to keep coming and coming and coming. So this year being wide open as far as championships goes, there is no huge favorite. There's no one guy that's dominating or running way better than everyone else. This is probably his best chance in a couple of years. 2 years ago, he and Harvick were the favorites. Last year, nobody but Kyle Larson had a chance, but this is one of the best chances that Denny's had in a long time to try to go out there and win a championship. And so, I mean, you can't really blame Gibbs for throwing all the effort behind him and behind Christopher Bell, who are the only 2 drivers they have left.
Meanwhile, with Buescher winning at Bristol this past weekend to close out the round of 16 of the playoffs, it's the first time that a playoff driver has not won during the round. That's what I'm seeing here with Buescher's win following Bubba Wallace and Eric Jones, neither of whom were playoff drivers either. So
yeah, it's crazy to think about. And as much parity as there is in the sport right now, it could happen again in this round. We still have Martin Truex Jr., who's not a playoff driver. He has not won this year. Brad Keselowski, who had a really good chance to win Bristol, he has not won this year, and obviously his team's running much better with Buescher getting to victory lane. There are still some drivers out there. Harrison Burton's been running better in the 21. He has a chance to maybe go up and steal a win, especially at a place like Talladega. So this new car has done, from a competition standpoint, I think everything NASCAR wanted it to do, which is make it so that 25 guys in the garage area have a chance to win on any given weekend. I think that they would like to correct some of the other things with the next gen car, some of the concerns on safety and some of the concerns about passing. But from a competition standpoint, I think it's made the series fantastic, because finally you can show up to a racetrack and not have any idea what's going to happen, right? I mean, we talked about it right off the top. Nobody saw Chris Buescher coming, and that's intriguing. It's interesting.
Kyle Busch eliminated, along with Harvick, Austin Dillon, and Tyler Reddick. So now, how many will be in the next field? Where do they run? They run back at Wilkesboro this weekend. Is that right?
This week they go to Texas this week, then Talladega next week, and then the Charlotte Roval. That's the 3 races in this round, and they'll cut 4 more drivers out after this round and reduce it down to 8, and then they'll finish with Las Vegas, Homestead, and Martinsville, and that'll cut it to 4. And then the final 4 will race at Phoenix for the championship.
It gets crazy, man.
Sounds like.
Yeah, Kyle Busch very upset with the way that the next gen car has kind of thrown
Oh, I know. I chased
tires
them all over the
and
Bristol.
yeah. Everybody has had something. It's interesting that Fords and Toyotas have had kind of the same issues over and over, whereas Chevys have not had nearly as many consistent issues. So it's interesting how the different manufacturers, because you think, well, it's all the same car. Well, it's not all the same car.
No, they're basically the same car. And I had somebody tell me this, which I thought was really interesting about the Toyota troubles at Bristol. They had power steering issues, and there is a line that runs power steering fluid into the racket pinion steering, and the Chevys used a metal line, and the Toyotas were using a cloth line. Now it's a high pressure cloth line that's used on like airplanes. So, I mean, it can handle it, but it can handle the abuse, but it couldn't handle the heat in Bristol. And so the power steering fluid was overheating, and that was causing the issues in the cars. And that was why, and the Toyotas were running them, the Chevys weren't. That's why you saw the issues with the power steering in the Toyotas, and probably some of the Fords too, because there were a couple of Fords that had issues. Were probably also running that cloth line, but the person I talked to didn't know about the Fords. But that's why you saw that issue in all the Toyotas, but not in the Chevys.
Interesting. Well, and Ford's had one particular issue. I can't remember exactly what it is, but they've had issues.
Well, they were catching fire. They were the ones that
that's what it was. They were catching fire.
That qualifies as an issue.
And it's been a consistent issue all year. I don't know. So it's weird how these basically kit cars there are still little things that you can do to try to gain an advantage, but you have to be careful, with what parts you do use, because, again, power steering, cloth versus metal. Now I bet they don't use cloth again.
High risk, high reward.
I guess.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, also little things like tire pressures. That the same manufacturers seem to always blow tires at different tracks, whether it's a Chevy is blowing them at one track or a Ford in another, because NASCAR gives recommended tire pressures, but you don't have to run those. But if you run them lower, you run the risk of you can go faster, but you also run the risk of blowing a tire. So, I mean, there are little things that you can do to try to gain an advantage, but if you cross that line just a little too much, then you cause problems for yourself. And I think Chevy has been a little bit more conservative along those lines and pushing those tolerances and those limits than Toyotas and Fords, especially in their mainline cars. There's a ton more Chevys than any other manufacturers, so they can try some stuff with some of the middle to lower tier teams that don't affect the championship, where all 6 Toyota teams are running, up front and running for something. So there's not really a car, although you might see the 18, maybe the 19th become an experimental car, the 23. But there goes the ambulance.
Yeah, happens a lot here.
Hopefully everything's okay.
But they don't have as many cars to try things with as the Chevys do. So I think the Chevys are just being more conservative, and that's why you're seeing less issues from them.
All right. Well, they go to Texas this weekend, and I don't know what's going to happen. They are going to treat the track ahead of the playoff race, so we'll see what that means.
Treat the track.
Yeah, it's
as opposed to trick the track.
I mean, it's essentially just they're trying to make it as as good as they possibly can without resurfacing.
They're basically Mo, what they're doing is they're taking something that makes artificial grip outside of the preferred lane, because everybody wants to run in the preferred lane, to force people to run a second lane. And so they put it's basically resin, like baseball, and they'll put it all the way around the outside of the second lane to try to force people to drive in 2 different lanes and make passing easier. So
Okay.
With that being said, who's going to win?
Oh gosh, I mean, this track is going to be interesting for a couple of reasons, because first of all, the first time we were there, the racing was terrible. but the All-Star race was boring and everybody, hated it. But I think overall the big tracks have been pretty entertaining. When we've gone to the big tracks, the Toyotas have been the most successful manufacturers on the big tracks. But the last time we were in Texas, Ryan Blaney won. And the last time we were in Texas in the playoffs, Kyle Larson won. So you could see any of the three manufacturers showing up and being good this week. I think that you're going to see in this round the playoff drivers step it up a bit. I don't think that they liked having the show stolen by these non-playoff drivers in the first round. And I also think that Chase Elliott is probably a little sick and tired of hearing he's not the favorite. He's been the number one seed for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and been the best driver, even if it's by a small margin. So I expect Chase and the number 9 team to show up and get a win at Texas.
Solid pick.
He finished second, right? He finished second at Bristol, so he's been right there, and
he won at Nashville. He's won at some of these 1.5-mile type tracks. He's been good. He won at Atlanta. It's more of a super speedway. Texas is kind of in between Nashville and Atlanta in the way it races. I just think it's a Chase Elliott kind of weekend.
There you go. Heather Williams, WCYB TV, talking NASCAR with us. She does each and every Wednesday around this time. So make sure to check it out and come back next week as we see how her pick has done.
Yeah, I hope he does better than Joey because I totally jinxed Joey last week.
That's okay. Well, anytime you jinx Joey Logano, I'm not going to be mad at you. So.
He's actually one of the nicest guys in the garage area. Outside of the car. I know people have a lot of issues with the way he races inside the car, but he is genuinely one of the nicest drivers in the garage area.
Yeah, I don't know him like that. I just know what he does on the track. And look, I don't hate him for doing that because I'm a Ross Chastain fan, and Ross Chastain drives as hard as anybody. So
also one of the nicest guys outside of the race car. So it's just kind of funny that they are, those guys wear black hats on the racetrack because they are both super, super nice guys off track.
Well, I'm looking forward to Texas as always.
But that's why we bring Heather Williams in, is for her insight.
So we would know that. So
we would have no way of knowing that, but we trust you. So
now I know the rest of the story.
That's it.
On the flip side, Kyle Busch is everything you think he is.
Heather, we're going to be talking. We're going to be talking about college game day guest pickers in the next segment. It's not going to be you, is it?
No, unfortunately, my invitation got lost in the mail.
Oh,
I'm not really a Tennessee fan, though, so that would be not an appropriate pick for me. Now,
boo this woman, boo.
If and when they take game day to Lawrence to see my 3-0 Jayhawks,
they almost should have been there. I think they should have been there this weekend. I'm just saying.
Then I could be a guest picker. But I didn't even go to Kansas. I went to Missouri State, which, by the way, almost took them
how about that
this weekend. Yeah. That was really fun. The motorcycle man almost got his revenge.
That was my biggest upset of the weekend, was that there were no neck braces or motorcycles on campus at Arkansas this weekend. So,
well, it's probably a good call considering that Missouri State almost got them. It was better that they kept a low profile.
How about them Bears? Yeah. Heather, as always, we appreciate it. Look forward to talking to you again next week.
Yep, we'll see you guys then.
Take a quick break. When we come back, Mo, we will talk about who will and who could be, but also who will not be picking on Saturday at Neyland Stadium, as game day will be there for the Florida matchup. Checker Neyland, game day. Florida's terrible, shaping up to be a bad day for the Vols.
Yeah, exactly.
So y'all stick around. We'll be right back after this. It is the second anniversary show here on Main Street Sports. So we'll be back.
This is Chris Yao with Main Street Sports Today. Every show, Mo Patton and I welcome friends from all across the sports landscape, from high school coaches and reporters to national, college, and pro sports personalities. You never know who might stop by for a chat. AP Tennessee Sports Editor, three-time Tennessee Sports Writer of the Year 2020 TSWA Hall of Famer. She covers the Titans, the Predators, the Grizzlies, college football, and hoops. Please make welcome Teresa Walker.
Former University of Tennessee, former Team USA Olympian, ex-Cy Young Award winner, R.A. Dickey. R.A., did I miss anything?
Man, that was sweet. Yeah, I need to listen to that before I go to bed every night. That was nice.
Has 5 sports Emmys. That's not bad for the other guy in Wham, Ryan McGee.
The other guy in Wham married the best looking girl Bananarama, so the other guy in Wham had a pretty good life.
From preps to pros, we're taking on the sports topics you care about. Tune in across Main Street Media social platforms at 2 p.m. or on demand on your podcast distribution platform of choice.
Looking forward to some cake and ice cream later. I hope. I'm praying for it. See what happens.
Are you trying to hint to somebody that you...
No, Sarah tried. She went to try to find a strawberry cake earlier and could not find one.
No.
So we'll see what happens. But it is what it is.
There you go.
I'm happy. Had a good day. So came home last night. Sarah did all the dishes, made dinner, did the laundry. Like, she did this whole list of things, and I'm just like, cool. That's awesome. Like, I wasn't expecting any of this, so that's great. I'll take that. So, anyway, yesterday on the Fine Bomb Show, Reese Davis was on talking about College Game Day this weekend and said that their first pick for a guest picker was unavailable. And that...
Did he say who that was?
He did not, but when you read between the lines, you can understand it's Dolly, based off what he said. So Dolly Parton, he said that that could change, but as of right now, she was unavailable.
That's unfortunate.
It is, because watching Lee Corso sit next to Dolly Parton would be literally the funniest thing in the history of time.
I don't think Lee's ready for that.
They would just, defibrillator on site. I just need you to be standing there.
Kind of brings you back to that meme on Twitter or whatever. What was Jolene bringing?
Yeah,
Yeah. Anyway,
it's I don't know what Jolene's got, but must have been something special. But yeah, so no Dolly that we know of. Other than that, who would be your first pick to be the College Game Day guest pickers?
I told you mine yesterday, and it threw you for a loop, and I was a little shocked that it took you by surprise the way it did. Bubba Wallace is a huge UT fan.
Yeah, if they were in Bristol this weekend, I would bet he would be an option.
Now they're in Texas.
They're in Texas.
So that would be tough, even with the private planes and everything that they have at their disposal. So
yeah, so
might have to stay a little closer to home.
That would be unfortunate. That would be cool. I didn't realize that he was a Tennessee fan with him being from Mobile, and I just didn't know. But I guess that makes sense. T. Martin.
Well, no, both his parents. His mom went to UT. His dad's from Nashville.
Gotcha.
So
there you go.
Yeah, but somebody mentioned Congress Holloway.
That would be cool.
I think that would be real cool.
I think the funniest thing we could do outside of Lee Corso and Dolly Parton would be Lee Corso and Bill Dance. There's
been a lot of Bill Dance love in this conversation on social media.
I don't know what he knows about football. That'd be hilarious.
Well, I don't know how much football he sees because he's probably out on some lake
every Saturday.
So I don't know.
He gets home by 10. He's out at 6.
He's home in time. Yeah, it's a good point. Unless he's napping.
That's what I'd be doing.
I don't know.
I mean, there's some good names out there. I thought I saw
Todd Helton might not be bad.
Todd Helton would be really cool. I don't know who. Somebody said Arian Foster, which is
might get some interesting picks.
Apparently, he's going to be on hand on Saturday for some sort of recognition. I don't know exactly what he's there for, but I mean,
I mean, you're looking for somebody who's got some national recognizability, I guess, right? Ideally, or at least regionally,
and
with some ties to UT,
and apparently not a sports
not
guy
necessarily
person, or at least not football. Because I'm looking at FanSided here, they list 15.
What about Trey Crowder?
That'd be great.
15. Who they got?
They've got Kelly Harper and then Rick Barnes. This one's interesting. And I'm going to have to read their reasoning behind it because I don't quite know if I.
There's been a lot of talk about Tony V.
Well, and Tony V is one of those as well. But Taylor Swift. I really don't. She's a Tennessee legend. I mean, is she? Outside of what? Well, her award show bringing the Hendersonville senior class to her award show when she got her first ACM award was legendary because.
Is she from Hendersonville?
I swear she lived when she did music, but
okay.
But Hendersonville, she did it to throw it in their face because everybody at the school kind of dissed her while she was in school.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So anyway, 12 Bill Dance, 11 Samuel L. Jackson.
It's from Chat.
So that would be fun. I don't know if you could do it on TV.
Yeah, you'd have to have 7-second delay.
I mean, we've seen course.
Say Florida one more time.
No. Johnny Knoxville. It's in the name. But he's a longtime well-known Tennessee fan. So I think he would actually be a decent pick. If you're going celebrity, non-sports wise, he would be interesting.
David Keith. I don't know if he's on there or not. He might have kind of passed the point of hot celebrity. I mean, he's actor. Yeah. Done a lot, but not a lot recently necessarily.
Well, neither has Johnny, but he,
yeah.
Heath Schuler, Al Wilson, Kelsey Ballerini.
I think Al Wilson's going to be too busy giving the pregame locker room speech.
I hope he is.
Yeah.
Tony V. This is a good one, and I think this might be the way to go. Candace Parker gives the WNBA some love on a network that they're on, and I think that could be huge for them. Bianca Belair, professional wrestler.
I'm not familiar with Bianca Belair, but I'm sure a lot of the Big Orange Nation probably is.
Number 3 ranked wrestler in 2021, male or female. SmackDown Women's Champion at one point. She was born in Knoxville, although she finished track and field, or she ran track and field with South Carolina and Texas A&M before coming to Tennessee, where she earned all SEC and all American honors.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, right. I didn't know. Did you know that Kevin Nash played basketball for Tennessee in the 80s?
Yeah.
Was unaware of that.
Everybody knows that.
I do now, so I guess they do now. Josh Dobbs. I wish he'd be there just so I could ask him why he blocked me.
Is he not still on the Browns roster?
He is.
Okay.
Peyton Manning and then Dolly. That's the.
No, Peyton.
Peyton is not allowed.
I don't want Peyton anywhere on campus.
I don't want him anywhere on campus. I don't even want him in Knoxville. Like, go.
Certainly don't want him in the stadium.
Heck no.
No.
Anywhere but.
No.
So, there you go. That's those are the options. I think Candace Parker might be my favorite out of those.
Out of those.
Just because
I mean, if Dolly's not available,
yeah.
I will tell you that I like the idea of a woman guest picker.
And again, with the WNBA tie, I think it makes a lot of sense for both ESPN and for Tennessee. Top of the six, Mets 0, Milwaukee 0. But anyway, Braves did lose 3-2.
They did lose 3-2.
And we're going to talk about it.
They strained at the tie and run, in fact, in the ninth. So.
Brutal.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to talk about it on the other side of a break. So, y'all stick around. Back after this.
It's 99 degrees.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Tennessee. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the TSSAA.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
We're back here on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Chris Yao, Mo Patton. Man, tough day if you're a Braves fan. Yeah, dropped the series finale to the Nationals 3-2 on a day that Bryce Elder gave you a chance to win.
Absolutely. That was the toughest thing about it. He gives you 5 2/3 and only gives up the 1 run. And, Jesse Chavez, of all people, gives up a 2-run homer that pretty well does you in. And I can't even be mad at Jesse.
No, absolutely not.
It happened. You're not going to win every game.
You're not. I agree. You're not going to win every game.
But it gets magnified in situations like what the Braves are in now. Now, they have clinched the postseason berth. I don't think anybody ever thought they wouldn't. which is why they didn't celebrate last night, unlike other folks.
You know, I saw a tweet, but it didn't look like the Mets had done a whole lot of celebrating.
And apparently,
it looked like they just had a couple flukes.
Yeah, well, someone bought an expensive bottle of champagne for Max Scherzer's 200th career victory, I think.
Well, so it kind of killed two birds, one stone. But I mean, it wasn't like they were, shaking up.
Yeah, there were no goggles.
No goggles. And it was, we poured some champagne. Everybody, raised a glass. It wasn't a huge. But look, if you're the Mets, celebrate what you can. I think the celebration in Atlanta, from whichever team it is going to be insane. Because you're talking about a late season push. You're talking about one of the best division races in recent memory. That I can't think of any division that has been this contested this late.
Sure.
In recent memory. So it's been a fantastic race. The more I watch the Reds, the more angry I get. But we could be leading this thing if not for the darn Reds. But yeah, it's been interesting. It's been fun. I wish the offense would try to do a little more over the last few games. It's not been great. I mean, today you had, again, Matt Olson, man. He's been a struggle for this team over the last 2 months. The team has been great. Matt Olson has not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, there's no better way. There's no other way to put it than, I think coming into this series, he was like 4 of 66 or something.
It was bad. 462 or something like that.
I mean, and today
he had 2 hits last night, though, didn't he?
I think he had 1. I don't know if he had 2. But either way, offense didn't do bad. Had 10 hits, just couldn't put them together.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of them were 2 outs.
That's, Acuna with the RBI, the 2-out RBI, went 3 for 7 with runners in scoring position. And look, I know it's Austin Riley, but in a 1-run game like that, I don't know how you're not just trying to score.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised that they didn't send Riley on that play. That was because certainly Riley thought he was trying to score, and certainly Contreras thought Riley was trying to score.
Ads on random websites.
But yeah, I mean they did not run the bases especially well in that 1 inning in particular. They had some uncharacteristic errors the last couple of nights. I'm not. Maybe they're a little tired.
Maybe they are tired. I mean, look, I get that. I mean, last night was tough, especially in the 9th inning. It got a little, little rough, and then you turn around. Series finale, day games haven't been great for the Braves historically this season. So
I hope they get some rest tonight because they got the Phillies coming in here for 4. I'm sorry, they go to the Phillies for 4 starting tomorrow. So,
yeah, one of those is a makeup game. One of those is one of the games that the Braves have in hand, so they can pick up half. Later. That's ideal. But it doesn't matter because it all comes down to next weekend. So long as you don't go up to Philly and just completely
implode.
So anyway, Braves struggled mightily today, but hopefully getting a chance to play for it next weekend will matter.
I just think as long as it's close when the Mets come in again, and I sound like a broken record, but I mean that's pretty much the facts of the situation. I think
it appears the Braves are trying to set up Fried, Wright, and Strider for that series. Strider with a sore oblique or a sore oblique. I don't know which one it is. Hopefully it's the latter. I'd rather him not actually be hurt than for him to be. But that's, obviously that's you're taking what you can get. Got a lot to unpack if you are Brian Snitker right now, because you've got to not only try to put your best three against what's likely going to be Bassett, DeGrom, and Scherzer next weekend, but then you have to prepare as if you're not going to win the division.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you've got to be prepared to play a wild card round as well. And
so you have to make a lot of decisions in both of those aspects. And from there, I don't know what the plan is, but hopefully he's got one. Of course, the way he manages the pitching staff,
I'm sure he and Anthopoulos have mapped some things out. So we'll see.
We will indeed. We will indeed. Well, we got to get to the history books before we get out of here. So go ahead and tell us what happened this day in Braves history.
September 21st, 1993, using a record 9 pinch hitters, Atlanta downed host Montreal 18-5. The win slowed down an Expos team that had won 19 of its previous 22 in an effort to catch the NL East leading Phillies. Braves manager Bobby Cox sent 5 straight pinch hitters and 6 total to the plate in the 7th, as the two teams combined to use 13. Yet another record. So it's a good day to be on the bench for either of these teams. If you were on the bench, you got a pretty good shot at getting an at bat anyway.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. We are going to take a quick break. And when we come back, Teresa Walker joins us here on Main Street Sports Today. So stick around.
The high school football season is here, and nobody handles Friday nights better than Main Street Media. Here's Zach Womble with details.
That's the name of the game here at Main Street Media and Main Street Preps. Is, we've been doing this for a long time now, and I think you hit on it. We've got an army of reporters across all of Middle Tennessee. I think there's about 130 schools in the Middle Tennessee area, and we try to cover all of them. We cover about 11, 12 counties at this point. And those Friday night shows, it's we're gonna show that off. We're gonna showcase the talent that we have on the field with reporters across several mid-state games on the weekly basis. So whether you're in Williamson County, whether you're in Giles County or Murray County or Montgomery or Robertson or anywhere in between, we're gonna have you covered from 6 to 11.
Friday Night Live is presented by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, where fans don't let fans drive drunk.
Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Welcome back into this second anniversary show of Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint. Mo, she's on the promo. She does it all.
Mm-hmm.
And a great friend of the show.
Hope she continues to be a great friend of the show after today's show.
Well, we will. We'll take our chances.
No, you'll take your chances.
Teresa Walker joins us as.
Teresa, I have to tell you, I'm not sure if you can see the feed, but the scroll on the show says "Coming Up, Teresa," and a bunch of characters. And
I did just see that scroll because I'm at a red light, and
let me just tell you, I have nothing to do with that.
I was just repeating a phrase that the Titans head coach Mike Vrabel has said a lot in his tenure here about not doing dumb stuff
to hurt the team.
Yeah. And as I was asking the question yesterday about this team's got a lot of rookies on it and a lot of rookies who are playing right now, right? And I was trying to ask the question of how much of it is the youth, how much of it is just guys doing dumb stuff. And in the moment, I kind of fell back on the phrase I've heard him say. I've used that word occasionally myself. Yes, I will admit. But, trust me, the fallout was immediate. I got a couple of texts saying, hey, we're carrying this live. Come on now. You're going to get us in trouble. I did hear that one radio person at one station on another fell out of his chair when he heard me say that. Yes, one Derek Mason. So, yeah, I covered Derek. So, he's been around me for more than a minute. And then I get over to Vanderbilt because, they're playing number 2 Alabama this week. And Clark Lee starts off, happy birthday, Teresa, because it was my birthday. And he said, keep it PG-13. So it's like, okay, I'll try. It wasn't, what can I say? It was a day. And I let one slip, and I have
not mad at
you.
Of
it.
I'm not mad at you.
No.
I think it was perfectly fitting given the product that was put on the field at Orchard Park the night before. So yesterday was your birthday? Is that what you said?
Yesterday was my birthday.
I did not realize that. Yesterday was also, and I didn't realize this either. Yesterday was also Columbia Academy Athletics Director Pernell Knox's birthday. And today is your birthday. So yeah, this is pretty good week for birthdays apparently. So happy birthday to you and to PK and to Chris. But yeah, what was your general takeaway from yesterday? I mean, how bad are things at STSP?
Well, I'll say this. It felt bad yesterday because what Mike Vrabel said yesterday, and he said it again today, they're still evaluating Taylor Lewan. Now, there's some website, Sports Injury Central or something, that keeps showing the video and insisting that Taylor Lewan suffered a season-ending injury.
Oh no, I think that's that one's on her internet.
She has a bad spot.
Signed it. Yeah, perhaps. I don't. Anyway, so apparently, have you seen anything about Taylor Lewan's injury being?
I've seen speculation, that it may or may not be, season ending. And
as bad as this line is, I actually would hate to see it because he might be the second best lineman we have on the team.
Well, the fact that he's the second best lineman that is on the team is a little bit of an issue in and of itself, I think.
Oh yeah, that's definitely. I mean, that's a problem. If he's the second best one you got, you're in trouble.
Well, why is he not the best you've got? But that's I don't know.
Well, I'm going with Ben Jones just because I think Ben is a little more consistent over time. But that's neither here nor there. Yeah, I mean, we'll effort to get Teresa.
Teresa is efforting to get back in. She said that her phone overheated, which kind of goes back to the conversation we were having off air.
Well, Yes.
Hot.
About it's 99 degrees outside.
Yeah.
I don't know who said that was a good idea. Whoever said it was a good idea.
They didn't ask us.
Yeah, no. I mean, look, it's tough out here. It's tough out here. Tennessee Titans, Mike Vrabel's press conference yesterday, and Teresa asking questions. It really is concerning when this team who came into the season as what we expected to be very, very good, and on either side of the ball they haven't been great. So that's unfortunate. But
and at this point, in the AFC South,
nobody. Is anybody good in the AFC South, Teresa?
At this moment, no. I mean, the Jaguars, because they have the one win in the entire division.
The one win, yeah, over another AFC South team.
Exactly. So that's the thing. People are ready to write the Titans off. It's like, guys, they won 12 games last year using 91 different players. Do they have issues? Yes. Elijah Molden being on IR, that hurts. He's got to miss at least 2 more games before they can even think about trying to bring him back. Caleb Farley is showing that, he's showing some rust. I mean, the guy was the first guy to opt out of playing in 2020, and he had the back surgery and this and that and the other thing. So, suddenly Roger McCreary turns out to have been a draft of need in hindsight rather than defensive line. Guys, practice is scheduled to end around 3:15. I'm waiting to see the injury report. But when we were in the locker room, Taylor Lewan was in the locker room. He was walking around. I didn't see a brace, a wrap, or something around his knee. So for all these reports saying, oh, he's out for the season, it's done, it was the same ACL, we don't know that. We don't know what he's dealing with. This could be gamesmanship by the Titans, trying to say, oh yeah, he's fine. It's just a mere scratch, a mere flesh wound. He'll be all right. But we don't know what it is. And here's the beautiful thing: is I pull it in my garage, which is a lot cooler than the front of my car. So here's the thing: we don't know. Now, Mike Vrabel was asked. He said the plan Monday night was Daly going in. That didn't work well. So they've got to come up with a new plan for Sunday. And they're not tipping their hand. I mean, Taylor Lewan and the offensive starters is still listed there. So we don't know what they're going to do. Having seen Bruce Matthews once upon a time, Hall of Famer, projected to miss, 2 to 4 weeks with a knee injury, he put a brace on and didn't miss a game. So, until we see that injury report, we don't know what's going on with Taylor Lewan. They need him desperately. And guess what? He needs to be playing as much as humanly, physically capable of doing, because, it's not the salary he's getting this year. It's the fact that he has a big salary next year. And if he wants a chance to renegotiate, stay in Tennessee, or earn a deal somewhere else, he needs to be on the field as much as possible. So we don't know. And, what they did say is, short week, fixing the mistakes that they made. They made a bunch on Monday night. I mean, missed blocks, missed tackles. Zach Cunningham, dude, you had your arms around a guy, take him to the ground for the loss, the tackle for loss. So there were mistakes across the board. Ryan Tannehill, I mean, that pick six, guys, Robert Woods was running wide open to the left in the short flat, and he throws into coverage to Nick Westbrook-Akine. So a lot of things to clean up, and a short week to do it, and against a team that is equally as desperate in the Raiders, who are also 0-2. So it's going to be very interesting. But for everybody saying, fire Todd Downing, fire Mike Vrabel, fire John Robinson, calm down. You've gotten really, really cushy with 6 straight winning seasons, 3 straight playoff seasons, 4 of the last 5. You obviously suddenly think we're back in the 5-27 years under Ken Wisenhunt. Ken Wisenhunt is not.
Let me just say this. 2 of those 3 are overreactions.
Yes. Now, we'll see about that third. The offensive coordinator?
Yeah. I think there's plenty of basis for that screaming.
Well, and here's the thing: last year they couldn't do hardly anything on the first drive. So suddenly, the first two games of this year, they score on the opening drive. Look,
Yes, fixed one issue.
She's trying to come back.
She may be in the parking deck.
No, I think she was going home.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, you fix one issue and now you've got another.
Yeah. And, as we were talking to Andrew yesterday.
Well, you
there she is.
Oh,
There
she is.
back.
Oh, she is. There she is. You were saying.
Can you hear me now?
There she is.
Can you hear me now? Sorry, guys. It was one of those things
We
trying to
can.
get one place to the other.
Oh, so what happened is her phone connected to her Wi-Fi in the house, but it was too far away to have a good signal, guaranteed, because it happens to me every day.
I'm in the house on the Wi-Fi. I tried to boost the first phone with the personal hotspot on the private phone, and the problem with that is the phone got too hot. I mean, guys, it's 100 and something degrees outside. So who expected that?
On the last day of summer.
So
Yeah.
I'm back. I'm on the Wi-Fi. So apologies for the bad connections today.
All good.
We're just fine. We were just continuing to talk about, it's like the little boy putting his fingers in the dike. I mean, you get one thing stopped up and something else springs. What's non-injury wise, what's the biggest concern for the Titans going into this Raiders game on Sunday?
I think the run fitting. I mean, and I know that sounds crazy. We expected more of this defense, didn't we? And now suddenly, that has some guy named Devontae Adams. So, and Derek Muller. I mean, it's just a whole bunch of offensive weapons that they've got on that side. So, cornerback depth and health is certainly an issue. They added two guys from, signed off of the practice squads. They got a guy from New England. They got a guy from Pittsburgh to bulk up that defensive back core. So they've got to, and now this is a coaching staff that has shown the ability to sign a guy on Wednesday and have him start on a win on Sunday. So they did it last year with Greg Maben against the Kansas City Chiefs. So they're going to have them ready and up to speed, ready to play immediately. Sorry, that was my cat Roscoe tipping over the trash can in the background. That's his signal to feed me. So the secondary pass rush is the second. Other is, behind that because, Bud Dupree, how is he? Mike Vrabel said yesterday, didn't think that it would be a long-term thing with him, but, that covers a whole world of possibilities. Rashad Weaver, Ola Adeni, they're going to have to play, and they're going to they may end up having to start on Sunday and provide a pass rush. So that means more pressure on Jeff Simmons. And he talked today about how, at least with, Derek Carr, he'll run around, but he's not a Josh Allen type. So you kind of know where he's going to be if you can get to him as a pass rusher up the middle. So the defense has got it. The defense has to do its part, but the number one thing is this offense has to show that it can score points. Okay. 20 in the first game, is 41-7 the other night. So they're averaging 13.5 points per game. That's not going to cut it. It's among there's only 3 or 4 teams in the entire NFL scoring fewer points. So, and we're just 2 years removed from this team being the 4th highest scoring team in the NFL. So, yes, A.J. Brown's gone. I know it feels like they're working through some things. But, yes, the issues on the offensive line on offense, to me, are the biggest concern, being able to open holes for Derrick Henry. I've heard people say, well, maybe Derrick's lost a step. And he may have. Watching him at practice, I don't think so. But, he needs to have a chance to get to the line of scrimmage. I remember having these conversations when Chris Johnson was late in his career. And sometimes it's the running back. Sometimes it's because the offensive line. And guys, That was the biggest question mark about this entire offensive grouping. They let Roger Saffold go. They let David Quesenberry go. Not a big loss. I think they've upgraded at right tackle with Nicholas Petit-Frere. But the miss on Isaiah Wilson as a first-round pick, and then Dylan Radins as a second-round pick last year, Radins is a guy that the pressure seems to be on. He needs to be able to step in if asked and play well. And the time has come for him to play like an NFL player.
I feel better about our conversation from yesterday, hearing someone who clearly knows more than we do.
And I mean, sees him every day in Derrick Henry. So, I've always said Derrick Henry's a 3-step back, and he's also a 20 carry back. I mean, you just, to get the most out of Derrick Henry, you have to wear down the defense. And right now they can't do that because you can't get down, 10, 17 points and then expect to be able to run the football consistently. So that's just the way it is. Going forward, though, I mean, is this a team that can win double-digit games, or is it going to win the division by sweeping it and being an 8-win team?
Well, it may be a 9-8 kind of season for the Titans. And that's the thing. They who remembers the record when you win your division and get in the playoffs? Hardly anybody. And for this franchise, we all know what matters is getting into the postseason. And then what do they do in January? So that means you've got time. That's the thing. And guys, after Sunday, 2 of the next 3 wrapped around their bye against Indianapolis, a team that everybody anointed as the AFC South champ this year. And they're 0-2. Well, no, they're 0-1-1 in Houston. So, I'm not worried as much about the Colts. And the main thing in the locker room today was it's about us. It's about fixing what we do. And this team, under this management, has shown the ability to make the corrections and to do it quickly and to do it with a lot of changing pieces. So, yes, I remember that they have lost their last 3 playoff games. But in the regular season, it feels like they've earned a little bit of trust to try to get this turned around a little bit, maybe?
I think so. Look, I'm not saying, and I'm certainly not pushing the panic button after 2 weeks. And again, this coaching staff and this organization has certainly earned that benefit of the doubt. You just got to figure out how to fix your offensive line. Now, we knew this defense was going to be good, but we also didn't expect to lose Harold Landry and Elijah Molden and be with basically 3 rookies in the defensive backfield against the best offense in the league. So, you have to understand in context how this team got to 0-2. Now, obviously, week 1 is you can look back and pick apart, but look, it's the NFL. Any given Sunday, right? And the Giants are a lot better than they were last year. So I agree with you. I think that's important for us as fans to look at it and say, look, this organization has given us every reason to trust them. So let's trust them. Now, obviously, I get angry.
Here's the thing.
It doesn't matter.
I think I put pencil to paper. If you're 0-2, I mean, that's 19%, I think, of a 17-game season. So, and that you compare that to maybe 19 games in a baseball season. I mean, if you went 0-19 to start the year, you'd be pretty upset. So, I mean, it's relative. But for what was expected out of this team, I think that's where the reaction is coming from.
Oh, absolutely, Mo. And you're right on that because, locally people are thinking, oh, yeah, this team Super Bowl window is open as long as you've got Derrick Henry. And you did not want to see Malik Willis getting some playing time that way the other night. And luckily that has not ignited a quarterback controversy. But if they play like that a few more times, it absolutely will, because you're at a certain point, you could quickly in the NFL get to the point where it's time to see what you've got next. And bye-bye, go sit on the bench, Ryan Tannehill. So he did it to Mariota. So it can happen in a heartbeat. That said, it's a 17-game season. You pointed that out. So you get a teensy bit more wiggle room, and 8-8. I mean, God, look at what the Philadelphia Eagles have snuck into the playoffs. What did I lose? Hello, there, my back. Thank you. Somebody, I got a spam call in the middle of that. Apologies.
Okay. Goodness.
But the fact of the matter is, you could win this division at 9-8, maybe 10-7, and all that matters is getting in, and then deal with that. So fix the penalties, figure out the run game. Get Derrick Henry should have had a 100-yard rushing game in his first regular season game back, except there was a hold on Aaron Brewer, wiped out a 20-yard run. There was another hold by Aaron Brewer, wiped out another great play. Ben Jones, that him grabbing that helmet, wiped out a 17-yard reception by Robert Woods. So right now, it's almost like the Titans literally are their own worst enemy.
No question there. Hopefully it gets better this weekend against the Raiders. So we look forward to it. Teresa, as always, we appreciate your time. Thank you for sticking with us. And I know it's been a crazy week, but happy birthday, belated, and we will talk to you again soon.
Well, thank you so very much, and appreciate your patience through the tech issues. I thought I could beat the clock and be at my house with strong Wi-Fi, and forgot that it's really, really, really hot outside. And, iPhones don't react well to over 100-degree temperatures. So thank you for your patience, guys.
Thank you. We appreciate you working with us. And again, happy birthday, and we'll catch up with you soon.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Let's just keep it here. We got a couple minutes left, and I have potentially found something interesting on Twitter for Wild and Wacky Wednesday. I'm going to share my screen and see if we can. This is a teaser or trailer for a documentary on Nashville bachelorette parties. So this should be interesting. Let's watch. Clearly, that's satire, but it's hilarious and phenomenal, and I want to see a full production.
Is that a trailer, or
I don't know? It's just
that needs a full production.
I mean, it is. I mean, that voice right there is just worth it. Anyway, I thought that was hilarious. I wanted to get that in. Oh man, it is Wild and Wacky Wednesday with the weirdest and wildest news from across the world. And Mo, a father and daughter were arrested after a family feud over takeout Chinese food. Wildwood, Florida police were called Friday night to Pepper Tree Apartments, where a woman dialed 911 to report a disturbance. Pardon me, sir, did you see what happened? There's been some kind of Yeah, I did. I was standing over there by the mayor's. Here it comes. Run to the pole base. Naked as a japer. Apparently, the woman's son claims she had been attacked by this father, 51-year-old Bruce Shell, and his sister, 25-year-old Atlantis shell, Atlantis. That was your first mistake. You named your kid Atlantis. According to a Warner Arrest report, the family ordered Chinese takeout, but the containers were not properly labeled, which led to confusion about the order. The son unknowingly ate food that was not his own, prompting him to be put into a headlock by his father, Bruce. While he was in the headlock, Atlantis grabbed at her brother's arm. The mother saw what was happening and yelled at the pair of attackers, ordering them to stop. When they did not cease their attack, she called 911. That's ridiculous. It's Chinese food. Who cares?
That man wanted all of his Chinese
all
food.
the same.
Clearly not.
Felony battery. Well, I mean, it's essentially in Tennessee that would be a domestic violence charge. Anyway, wow. All right, so I need you to understand that there are things on the internet that you just should not do. There are trends out there, and there are things. I mean, Tide Pods, for example, eating the Tide Pods. That was a trend, and a lot of folks gave millennials crap about that. I would like to just say that millennials are older than those people. Anyway, the FDA is now alerting folks not to marinate your chicken. What do you think people are marinating chicken in?
Well, they've been marinating chicken in NyQuil, apparently.
NyQuil, that's correct. Federal agency felt obligated to issue the warning in light of social media challenge encouraging people to cook chicken in NyQuil and other cough medicine.
What is the objective of marinating your chicken in NyQuil?
I guess.
What are you trying to achieve when you do that?
I guess to go to sleep afterwards? I don't know. If you want to do that, just fry it. I always want to go to sleep after I eat fried chicken.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm ready to go.
They call that a food coma. That's got nothing to do with what the chicken was marinated in. It's certainly not in NyQuil.
Well, but I mean, it's the same thing. And the only thing that's going to happen is you're going to go to sleep, I would assume.
I don't know.
Just how long you're going to sleep is the question. It might be forever.
Or if you're going to wake up.
It might be forever if you believe the FDA. Put simply, someone could take a dangerously high amount of the cold medicine without even realizing it. I don't know. Have you seen there's a video going around where there's somebody has fried chicken and then they dipped it in Kool-Aid? And I'm like, why? Why? Just stop. If the food is fine as it is, the drink is fine as it is. If I want to put them together, I will do it inside my mouth. I don't want to do it before it gets there. Inside. Stop messing with food, folks. That's the real thing here. All right, we're going to go to Arkansas now. You ever heard of Beyond Meat?
It's
plant-based meat?
Yeah.
An executive of Beyond Meat has been arrested for allegedly biting another man's nose. Apparently, he and this guy had beef. Doug Ramsey. Come on, man. I don't have any dooms or anything to get to.
Just as well.
Doug Ramsey, 53-year-old COO of Beyond Meat, was arrested Saturday in Fayetteville, Arkansas, after a man said Ramsey bit him in the nose in the parking garage after a college football game.
After a college football game. That would be the Arkansas-Missouri State.
Absolutely. 100%.
Yeah, by the way. Yeah.
The responding officer said he found two males with bloody faces at the scene.
One with his nose bit off and one with blood from the
other person's nose, apparently. He's been suspended effective immediately, and they apparently hired him in December. KNWA TV said Ramsey was attempting to leave the parking garage in a Bronco on Saturday when a Subaru inched its way in front of his vehicle. Well, that was your first mistake, driving a Subaru in Arkansas. You should have known what was coming. I'm just saying that it's Arkansas, folks. After the Subaru reportedly touched the Broncos' front passenger side tire, Ramsey got out of the vehicle and punched through the back windshield. Subaru's owner told police that when he got out of the car, Ramsey pulled him in close and started punching his body. He is also accused of biting the other man's nose, ripping the flesh on the tip of the nose, and threatening to kill him, according to the man who witnessed and witnesses who spoke with the police. That's out there.
That's way out there. So, who was driving the Subaru? The guy whose nose was bitten?
Yes.
Okay. Because I was just thinking if this guy is the CLO, he might be driving
a
Subaru. So that's what I was trying to figure out.
That was my first thought as well, but apparently no. He was driving the Bronco.
No, he was driving the Bronco, yeah.
Seems
I'm
very
so
counterintuitive.
confused.
Yeah, the whole thing.
I'm really confused.
It doesn't make any sense. None of it does. Oh, man. Come back tomorrow. Thursday, we have Coach's Corner with Kit Hartsfield ahead of Rumble in the Jungle 2. That does not include Muhammad Ali or Joe Frazier.
Yeah.
None of those people. But it does include Mount Pleasant and Columbia Central, so that'll be a great game. We'll talk to Kit Hartsfield about that tomorrow. So come back, and we'll also do our high school pick'ems. So this has been the second anniversary of Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Thanks to Heather Williams and Teresa Walker for hanging out with us. We appreciate them. We appreciate you. We will see you guys tomorrow at 2 o'clock. George Plaster and 4. Stick around here on Main Street Media TV. For Mo, I'm Chris. Have a great day.